You're watching Ticket TV. Like, share, and subscribe on your way in.
The U.S. and Iran are set to meet this weekend for negotiations to try and end the war in the Islamic Republic. Vice President J.D. Vance traveling to Pakistan to head the talks, and there is a great deal at stake. The war has now gone on for nearly 6 weeks, leaving thousands of people dead. The war has also shaken the global economy, with fuel costs hitting record highs.
In light of the president's comments earlier this week that the whole Iranian civilization would die if the Strait of Hormuz was not opened, a growing number of Democratic lawmakers have been building the case for the Trump cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment, allowing for his eventual removal. Today, Congressman Jamie Raskin upped the ante, calling for Trump to take a cognitive test and provide a detailed report on his physical and mental health.
With more, we're joined by KTLA Law and Politics analyst Jessica Levitt. Jessica, good to have you. So as Democrats build this case to invoke the 25th Amendment, let's start with the basics. What is it? Why is it in place? And how would invoking it work?
So we're just a few questions. So we're really talking about Section 4 of the 25th Amendment, which has never been invoked. And this deals with an involuntary transfer of power by the vice president and the cabinet deciding to meet and then saying that the president is unable to discharge the duties of his office. At that point, the vice president becomes the acting president, but, and this could very likely happen in this case, if we ever got to this point, which let's be clear, we're not going to, but then the president could say, actually, I'm fine. Thanks so much. Then the vice president and a majority of the cabinet have to decide if they're going to move forward. If they do, we then have a showdown where Congress has to act within 21 days. So Congress gets 21 days to say, yes, the president can in fact serve, he is fit, or no, he's not. And it takes a 2/3 vote by Congress, by both houses, to make that determination. So we're talking about a political decision. We're not talking about doctors making a decision. We're not talking about cognitive tests. We're talking about the vice president and a majority of the cabinet deciding to do something that, frankly, they're not going to do.
Yeah, it's a long shot. But if it were to get that far in the process, could President Trump fight back? I mean, is there any precedent for its use?
So no precedent for its use, as we've talked about. There's lots of discussion, and specifically after January 6th, there was a lot of discussion about whether or not Section 4 of the 25th Amendment should be used in that case. Now, of course, what we need for it to be invoked is a decision by people who are very loyal to the president. The vice president who's chosen by the president, a majority of the cabinet who's chosen by the president. You asked me, could the president fight back? Yes, absolutely. As we just talked about, that's embedded in this whole procedure where the president can say, don't take this power away from me. I'm absolutely fine. Now, as you know, other parts of the 25th Amendment deal with a voluntary transfer of power. This is where you take it away from the president. It's supposed to be a safety valve, but there's a reason we've never used it. It's difficult, it's vague, and it calls on political actors that are loyal to the president.
As you've heard Congressman Raskin calling on the president to take a cognitive test in light of his recent comments on Iran. Does Congress have any power to do anything in that arena?
He has the power, like anybody else, to grab a microphone and say, I'm troubled by the president and I think he should take a cognitive test. But under the Constitution, under Section 4 of the 25th Amendment, does any member of Congress have the power to initiate an involuntary transfer of power? No. Now, we could have a separate discussion about impeachment. And of course, we have had that discussion with respect to this president before. But that's where Congress gets the power to say, we're going to start a process to involuntarily remove the president.
Yeah, this is definitely about politics as well. So let's say House Democrats continue down this path. What do you think the political implications are? And I mean, we're coming up on the midterms.
I think that's the right way to think about this question because, frankly, there's a reason, again, we haven't used it. It's so hard. There's so much vagueness built in. I mean, think about a situation where you want more clarity. Frankly, we don't have it with the language of what does it mean to be unable to discharge the duties of your office. I think that for a lot of Democratic voters, they want their members of Congress to take more specific and aggressive stands. And I think they have decided in part politically, and many may truly believe that the president is unable to continue to fulfill his duties. But I think that it's both a policy and a political decision.
Let's pivot a little to press freedoms. Two major legal rulings this week, one involving the Washington Post, the other involving, and this has been getting a lot of publicity, press access to the Pentagon. Walk us through this.
Now, let me speak on what she said about loyalty. It's already been proven that nobody is loyal in Trump circles. Trump isn't loyal. Trump will fire you when he doesn't need you. He'll fire you when he feels like you're expendable. He'll, talk to you any kind of way. People literally just ride a wave with Trump to be around him. They just literally ride a wave, get a paycheck, give me a little bit of following, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Some of them really, buy into this whole MAGA thing, and so, they'll be loyal to the end. People like, the delusional Pam Bondi, who's going to end up going to prison behind this. You've seen many people go to prison behind this guy. So, again, man, listen, let me say it like this, right? And when I say behind this guy, I mean they were dealing with him and then they ended up in prison, but he didn't. He just got 34 felons and just the president of the United States of America somehow, some way. He's lost a lot of his big-time support. So this is why I think that she gave an uninformed, I think that the woman who was speaking on the news gave an uninformed comment because a lot of his main, support is dwindling. Let's just be honest. All the big people who helped get him in office, they're all turned a different way from this guy. Megyn Kelly, Carson Tucker, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, all these people are not dealing with Donald Trump. So he's lost and these people have huge followings, right? And so you got to think those next Republicans are going to need those people in order to stay afloat. They're going to need that support from those people. So with her saying that, I disagree. Unless you just want to just destroy your whole career and just go down with Donald Trump in absolute, a diabolical, devastating way. But let me say this politically, right? So Donald Trump, being the Trump that he is, right? Let me say this to y'all, all right? Because I need to make sure we get this clear. Okay? This clown went on Truth Social. An absolute clown, bro. There ain't no other way around it. Biggest clown in the world. And this is what he says. So there you have it. The meeting went well. Most points were agreed to. But the only point that really mattered, nuclear, was not. Effective immediately, the United States Navy, the finest in the world, will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. Wasn't this the same clown that was just screaming to the whole world to open the strait? Wasn't he just using explicitives for people to use the strait? Right before he threatened to end the civilization, Donald Trump is a joke. Then, on top of that, he says at some point we're all reaching all being allowed to go in, all being allowed to go out basis. But Iran has not allowed that to happen by merely saying there may be a mine out there somewhere that nobody knows about but them. This is world extortion, says Donald Trump. And our leaders of countries, especially the United States of America, will never be extorted. I have also instructed our Navy to seek and interdict every vessel in international waters that has paid a toll to Iran. No one who pays an illegal toll will have safe passage on the high seas. Well, so now you own that water over there, huh, Donald Trump? He keeps bragging about everything he's done to these people, and they're still fighting. He's a liar. He said that he completely destroyed their nuclear program. Why are we still talking about it? You said that at the very beginning when y'all dropped those bunker busters. You said, oh, the nuclear program is over with. They're done. It was set back. So why are you even fighting? Why is all these people out here wasting their time, wasting taxpayers' money, and most importantly, some people losing their life off of this shit? While you sit down at UFC with Dana White, twiddling your thumbs and playing games. Dude's a clown, bro. Straight up, man. I'm ashamed that y'all that's still standing around this guy, man. You know? I don't understand. I'll be honest with you, man. He's shown y'all he'll kick everybody who support him in their ass. If you say one thing that he don't like or that he feel like is wrong, hey, man, he'll destroy you. And you're like, you staying looking like a damn fool. I'm telling y'all this. Keep listening to that guy and see what happens. Keep on. Keep listening to him, and you'll see what happens. So he screamed and hooted and hollered about opening it. Now he wants to close it and block it. What a clown. What are you going to do when Russia, China, India, and all these other people want to pass through? What are you going to do, Trump? Huh, genius? Then he's going at China talking about China better watch this, that, the third. This dude's a clown. Clown. Real talk. He says, we will also begin destroying the mines the Iranians laid in the straits. Any Iranian who fires at us or peaceful vessels will be blown to hell. This dude's a joke, bro. And Donald Trump thinks he's going to heaven. He thinks he's going to heaven. He says Iran knows better than anyone how to end this situation, which has already devastated their country. The Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their anti-aircraft and radars are useless. Khomeini and most of their leaders are dead, all because of their nuclear ambition. The blockade will begin shortly. Other countries will be involved with this blockade. Iran will not be able or allowed to profit off this illegal act of extortion. They want money, and more importantly, they want nuclear. Additionally, and at an appropriate moment, we are fully locked and loaded, and our military will finish up the little that is left of Iran. President Donald J. Trump. This dude's an absolute doofus, period. He's a joke, bro. And I don't understand how anybody would respect a clown like this. So, back to what we were originally talking about. Now they're looking, again, they're trying to invoke the 25th Amendment on this clown, right? Or impeachment. We've already told y'all that they've already filed articles of impeachment last week. So now, Trump, he began his second term in January of last year. And Democrats have called again for the 25th Amendment, right? In response to specific actions they describe as erratic, unhinged, or dangerous. Now, these have been public statements on social media and in interviews, right? Now, some Democrats cited Trump's push to take U.S. control of Greenland, right, as evidence of mental unfitness. Representative Yasmin Ansari posted that Trump is extremely mentally ill and putting all of our lives at risk, urging immediate invocation of the 25th. Senator Ed Markey and Representative Sidney Dove echoed calls for the amendment, calling Trump unfit to lead and clearly out of control, right? And so the most recent widespread calls came after Trump's April the 7th of this year Truth Social post amid the U.S.-Iran tensions over the Strait of Hormuz, right? Trump wrote, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. He set an 8 p.m. deadline and threatened to destroy every bridge, every power plant in Iran within hours if unmet. He later announced a 2-week ceasefire, but criticism continued, right? So Democrats went in and described the rhetoric as threatening war crimes, unhinged, and disqualifying. More than 70 House Democrats, plus at least 2 senators, posted calls for the cabinet Vance to invoke the 25th Amendment and for the impeachment, right? So Representative Ilhan Omar from Minnesota says this is not okay. Invoke the 25th, impeach, remove. This unhinged lunatic must be removed from office. Representative Rashida Tlaib from Michigan says it's time to invoke the 25th Amendment. This maniac should be removed from office. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez from New York, right? Ro Khanda from California, Melanie Stansbury, right, from New Mexico, and others use similar language, often calling Trump deranged, dangerous, or a threat to nuclear codes and civilization, right? Senator Ed Markey, Ron Wyden joined the calls. Representative Sri Thandar in Michigan sent a formal letter to J.D. Vance and the cabinet urging them to invoke the 25th Amendment. John Larson, representative out of Connecticut, filed articles of impeachment over the Iran situation. I told y'all that the other week, right? Representative Jamie Raskin scheduled a virtual briefing on the Trump administration accountability and the 25th Amendment, right? A small number of non-Democrats, right? Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens, also have called for the 25th over the 25th Amendment to be invoked over the Iranian posts, right? But the push has been overwhelmingly Democratic as of this point, right? Donald Trump is out of his damn mind. I'm just going to say it how it is. The man has lost his damn mind. And then that's just all there is to it. There is no really if, ands, or buts or ways around it, man. He has to go, man. Look, this dude does not know what he's doing. It's a complete joke. He's turned the United States of America into a joke, you know. And again, man, a lot of people are going to lose their life playing with this sucker. So to me, I've always thought like this. The best thing to do is, man, is just get the guy removed from office, man. That's just what they need to do. They need to remove this guy from office, bro. I mean, enough is enough. When have people seen enough? When have people got to their limit to where they say, you know what, man, I've seen enough, man. I've seen enough of this shit, bro. He's got to go. When is that going to happen? You know? Or are people just going to stay in their lane and continue to do...
All right, you guys.
Hold on. And continue to do what they do. So these are real questions that need real answers. He's a joke, man.
Hey guys, Ticket really hopes you enjoyed the content. There will be a link in the description box and pinned at the top of the chat room where you can go to the Ticket TV merch shop and purchase the exclusive merchandise for men and women. Thanks for your support, and he appreciates all sales.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure y'all click those links below. Subscribe to the podcast show. You can donate support to the channel, Cash App, PayPal, or buy that weight loss formula. All the links are below. Peace.